Good morning, fam. I hope y'all are having a blessed Friday morning. And I'm going to give a quick trigger warning really quick because I am going to get into a little bit of my testimony and it involves SA. So if you don't want to hear about that, go ahead and hop off right now. But here we go. So when I was a couple months away from turning 13, I was SA'd by another kid. And it was somebody that I was very protective of. And so after it happened, I ended up having a moment just to myself um, where I ended up believing a number of lies about myself, about love, about all of that. And when this happened to me, I had absolutely zero understanding about anything sexual. So it put me in a place where what happened to me really wasn't that drastic, but because I had zero understanding, it was very traumatic, and I believed I could have gotten pregnant in that moment, even though that would have not been a possibility at all. So anyway, um, I had this time by myself, and I had made a plan in case I was pregnant, and I had decided that I needed to protect the individual because I didn't want anything bad to happen to them. I didn't want to see them have repercussions. I didn't want anything to change, even though it already had. I also ended up believing that the only covering or protection that I could have from this continuing was another man or a man's protection, someone I was in a relationship with. And so this started the lie that I needed to have a relationship. I needed to have somebody in my corner, a man to protect me, basically, because I didn't feel protected from this situation. And so a couple months later was my 13th birthday. That was when I met my ex-husband on my 13th birthday. And he was 17 years old at the time. So basically a man. And um, I really felt connected and drawn to him for a number of reasons. And so that set the stage for the years that followed. But um, two major lies that I ended up believing were that the truth would only hurt, and two, that the covering I needed was from a man, when it was from what I needed was from God. I needed God's covering. I needed God's protection, but I thought that I needed man's protection. And the other lie was that the truth doesn't set you free. So these are lies that God has been working on me for a very long time. And the lie about needing a man is definitely probably been the most drastic one. Anyway, we just had cars driving by. But yeah, and the truth will always set you free. Um, if someone has done something wrong, being quiet about it and not going to the right people about it, regardless of whether you're scared. And like for me, because I had several times growing up called the cops for one reason or another, whether it was on me, on my sibling, it didn't matter. I was the one that always had to deal with them. I was the one that always had to sit and talk with the cops and so on and so forth. And so I was not a fan of police for a very long time. So I understand the hesitation at times, especially when you have grown up in a group or around people that are doing things that you wouldn't want cops around for. So I understand it. And I understand like just the general rule of thumb when it comes to street smarts. So I understand the hesitation, but the Bible says the truth will set you free. So don't believe the lies of the enemy, because if God be for you, who can be against you? And just because you've moved on and that person doesn't affect you, doesn't mean they're not affecting somebody else. But yeah, I know this is kind of a long video, but just spend that time with God to help him, or to have him reveal those things that you've believed that are lies. And so he can dismantle those things so you can start believing the truth, and the truth will set you free. And don't be afraid to share the truth either. But I love you guys with the love of Christ, and I will see you later.